Hello there, and welcome to another episode of the Broad Points Podcast. I am your host, the broad that points, the broad with the points. It's me, Tyler, the lady. And to start off this episode of the podcast, I would like to say, when one door closes, another door opens. You guys, it really is so true that when one door closes, when one opportunity is not for you, another opportunity makes itself available. Another door opens up and says, hey, come on this way. This is actually where you're meant to be. Why is this coming up, do you ask? Well, I'm happy you asked. I'll share with you here. As I believe I previously mentioned, had made a dance team, a hip hop dance team. Had no, honestly, idea that I was going to make it, but I did. I made it. They did not specify the competition dates. I was mistaken for a 25-year-old. I was real happy about that. And then I looked up the competition dates, and they're just on dates that I can't go to. The very first one, which would have been my first live dance performance on a stage, was in December on a Monday. You guys, I have no more PTO left. I don't know if you've ever dealt with this. If you work a 40-hour week, if you have an allotted amount of PTO, I only get so much through my corporate job. So going to Hawaii, going to Europe, going up to Washington. I've been not working for a lot of weeks this year. I can't just afford to take off a random Monday. So, anyways, that didn't work. I let them know, hey guys, this actually isn't going to work out for me. And coincidentally, as that happened, I started getting messages and seeing things on social media about the Thriller flash mob performance that is happening this year on Arenas. And last year I had seen several of my friends do this. I was honestly very jealous. It looked very cool. I've always wanted to be a part of a live dance performance. Then we bring Thriller into the equation, and I don't know about you, but I watched the Thriller music video infinitely. I don't even know. I couldn't tell you how many times I watched it, because we would watch it every year. Every Halloween we would watch it. And I mean, 13 Going on 30, does anybody remember that movie? I loved that movie. And they totally break down how to do the dance in there. And so we would do the dance in there. Not to mention, I was thinking the other day about my favorite toys growing up, and one of them was definitely DDR. And if you're not familiar, Dance Dance Revolution. Dance has always been a part of my life, even if it wasn't in the way that most people were doing it. And so, watching music videos, trying to recreate those steps, and playing Dance Dance Revolution, that's where, my real groove found itself. And so I'm beyond excited for this journey. I'm honored. Truly, because I love to dress up. I love Halloween. I love this song. And this performance, we had one practice already, and I am through the roof. I am so ready to be a zombie. My only problem is now I have to figure out what I'm going to wear, because with this other thing, I was just not going to have Fridays and Saturdays open. I was willing to commit to that, you guys. I was willing to commit all of my Fridays and Saturdays to this dance competition thing, because I felt I was ready for commitment. Are you ready for commitment? Let me tell you something. Your worst is someone else's best. No matter what, every single time, no matter where you are in your journey, your worst is someone else's best. And so I think that is a really important thing to highlight, is that, sure, I might not be doing so great, but somebody else couldn't even do this. Or if they got really lucky, they might be able to do this. And maybe sometimes when you feel like your worst is preventing you from doing things, we need a little bit of a fundamental phrase to get us through the week. Shall we get into it? I think we shall. This week's fundamental phrase is, be the light you wish to see in the world. Yeah. Be the light you wish to see in the world. You are the light. Always. In every room you walk into, your light guides you. It also attracts people to you. Am I right? How many times in the world have you been like, I really wish this was here? Guess what? You can be that if you want to be. Yeah, I actually challenge you, because doing the same thing results in being the same thing. And I don't know if you really want to be the same thing. I know I don't want to be the same thing. I really like who I am right now, and I don't want to be the same thing because I want to constantly be growing and evolving as a person. And an invite for you is to try something different. Yeah, if we try something different, we typically achieve different results. Yes, if you do not like your results, change your actions. Oh my goodness. So simple, right? If you don't like where you are, move. You are not a tree. We have a lot of things in common with a tree. We grow like a tree. We have seasons like trees. There's a lot of things, but we are not a tree. Never forget that you are not a tree and that you can move. You can. And actually, this body, it's made for moving. Right? Think about all the cavemen looking all fit back in the day. It's because they were using their bodies. Wow. They seized the opportunity that is every single second of every single day to move their body, to find food, to care for themselves, for others, for their community. Remember when there used to be community? I know, it can feel like it can just be so divisive, but the more you start to do the things that you love, the more you're going to meet people and attract people who like to do the same things. And even maybe they don't like to do the same things. Maybe they like to do different things. And they expand your consciousness into doing other things. Or maybe even going back to some old things. I know recently I have some friends, they're into running, which I've said it here before. Running has not always been my favorite thing. I used to be bullied a lot for how slow I was. I was never the fastest on the team ever. I had people telling me that I looked like I ran in slow motion, and it was honestly embarrassing. I'll just say what it was. It was embarrassing. And I was afraid to be embarrassed for a long part of my life. And then I realized that running doesn't have to be horrible. Running doesn't have to be, you're sprinting for your life or you're trying to get the best whatever. Really, truly, the only competition you have when you're running is you. And that is really what makes it so approachable for me anyways. You can look at it however you want, but the only competition you have is you. And I started utilizing the Nike Run app, which I don't really buy anything Nike these days, but I use the Nike Run app. It's for free. It tracks you, lets you know how many miles you have run. And also they have guided runs, which for me have been really life-changing because I think that I get so caught up in my head with how far I'm going. And they've even mentioned it, like watching the mileage count up or the clock count down or however you have it going. It can just feel so overwhelming is how I would put it. Trying to remember to move, breathe, not die all in one sitting. I mean, it can be a lot. Then I started doing these Nike Run apps, and the coach who is guiding the run, he talks about warming up. Warming up, you guys. Have you ever warmed up? That could be your problem. If you're just going out and trying to run, that could be your problem. I know it was mine once. It's just, I did a little stretching and then would just go. But guess what? If you're not warm, you can't stretch. Cold muscles don't stretch. It's not a thing. We have to warm up. And so he was talking about the idea of running to warm up and just running easy and running calm. And really, in that 2 to 5 minutes, we're going to say 5 minutes of running as slowly and easily as possible, not trying to work up the sweat, not trying to kill yourself, you're telling your adrenal glands to calm down. You're telling them, it's okay. We're not just sprinting across the street to try and avoid being hit by a car. No, sirree, Bob, we are not. We're having a good time. We're taking care of ourselves. We're running smart and we're running strong. 2 things that I love in this life are being smart and being strong. Anytime those 2 things happen, you just feel good. And I'm putting a label on it. It makes me feel so good when I get to activate those 2 things. Why not apply it to running? Why not apply it to somewhere where you feel weak and lethargic? Maybe, calm is not what you're feeling. Strong is not what you're feeling. Maybe you feel a little stupid because you're not sure what your run pattern is. Guess what? You're going to figure it out. You're going to figure it out. I'll tell you this. Don't go through pain. Never run through pain. But listen to your body. Really take it easy. Wherever you are at is exactly where you're supposed to be. When those dance auditions for me, I made it. It was so cool. Then I wasn't going to be able to do it. Then the new opportunity opened up. I'm able to go and seize that. I'm able to move forward, calmly, focused. And really, the way that we do one thing is the way that we do everything. And I don't know about you, but sometimes when I'm running, I start to think about all of the other things that are going to happen either in the day, on the run, and I start thinking, oh, well, I'm on my first quarter mile, and I still got 20 of these left. I don't really want to do anymore. I'm done. I'm tired. And then I become overwhelmed, and then I quit. Guess what? Only focus on the next step. It is so important to not overwhelm ourselves with every single thing that is going on. Just focus on what we have, the one step at a time. Because the more that we do that, the more steps we are able to finish. And I think it's so important, too, to finish stronger than when we started. And what the heck do I mean by that, right? Well, when we start, we're just warming up. We're just warming up. We're figuring it out. We're getting our bearings. And so by allowing ourselves to grow on this journey, we're building strength. We're building trust. And we're getting closer and closer to the person that we want to be. Yes, life is all about who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Not who other people are telling you to be, but who do you want to be? And that's really why I started running again. I started running so that I could, one, try new things. I was tired of my same results. I honestly get exercise is like seasons. You guys, that's how I'm going to put it. Exercise is like seasons. Sometimes I'm into one thing, and then the season changes, and then I go to a different thing. I was actually talking to one of my friends about how dance never goes out of season. You could just do that always and just incorporate different dance styles. But working out in general for me, I don't know, consistency. It is where legends are born, and I do consistently work out, not the same thing, not even like the same modes of exercise, but I just keep trying. I just keep showing up, and I didn't have a lot of dance going on recently. because I was committing to a really intense dance, but I didn't have a lot of like community dance. That was one difference that I will say was pretty noticeable, was the competition dance. It's a competition. Sure, we're all a team, but it's a competition. We're trying to really get this locked in. With all of the community dances that I do, sure, this performance, we're trying to really lock it in. Everything else, it's beginner's dance classes. It's open level. I mean, you come in and, again, you're your own competition. So for me to run, it really felt like, hey, this is for free. You need a free activity? Try running, guys. Oh, my goodness. There is one final thing that I would like to say about running, and that is recovery is so important. I am honestly recovering right now from a very interesting ankle thing. It didn't happen on my run. It actually happened way later in the day and then kind of left me feeling like, what the heck's going on? I have treated it. Epsom salt, ice, elevation. Did you know rice is not a thing anymore? Apparently there's a new acronym that you're supposed to take care of yourself with. I can't remember what I think it's like love or something, or who knows? I don't know. If you care, please look it up and tell me. You absolutely can. But recovery, you guys, as hard as we apply ourselves, we also need to make sure to put recovery in there, because we're really only as strong as we recover. Ooh, have you ever been in a stressful situation and maybe you didn't react the way that you wanted to, and then now you have to recover from that stressful situation and those reactions? Guess what? I have had to do it. I used to be a very angry person, and the recovery for me with that was an apology. Usually, I would have to come back and I would have to give an apology. Don't be afraid to give apologies, you guys. Just don't. Don't be afraid to recover. There's no shame in it. We don't have to be embarrassed. What recovery really shows is that we have learned and that we love ourselves. That we really want to solidify those learnings by recovering with them. It's a very, very simple idea. Again, not always easily implemented. Growing up, my friend reminded me that I would never ice. I would never recover. I would just go. And it leads to a lot of burnout. It does. Now, when I'm dealing with burnout, I like to incorporate not just physical, but a mental relaxation as well. Some may call it meditation. Hey! Meditation is a great thing that you can apply kind of anytime, anywhere. You can meditate for however long you want, in whatever position you want, although straight spines are happy spines. And you can do it daily. Something that I like to imagine doing when I'm meditating is I like to imagine that I'm a turtle retracting into my shell, retracting away from the world. There's no one else when we meditate except for us. Again, it's a time for us to recover, relax. It's a love that is timeless. Right, some loves don't last forever. I was just talking the other day about toe shoes. Toe shoes were my former love, you guys. They were actually the start, one may say, of my minimalist soul journey. And I loved my toe shoes. I loved my toe shoes so much. I'd wear them on hikes. I'd run around in them. They looked crazy. People would definitely give you some looks when you were wearing your toe shoes. Alas, you don't have to wear toe shoes anymore to have a barefoot minimalist experience. No, sirree, Bob, you don't. Instead, I've grown up a little. And now I wear Xero shoes. Yes, Xero with an X. They are my new love. And you can buy yourself a pair and simultaneously pay me when you do that by utilizing my Xero affiliate link. It is xeroshoes.com/go/Tyler the Lady. And if you would like to follow me, you absolutely can on social media only, at Broad Points or at Tyler the Lady. And if social media is not for you, I get it. Send me an email. My email is broadpointspodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget, share, review, like, and subscribe to this here podcast so that you know when they are coming out. Now, one more time with that fundamental phrase for the week. Be the light you wish to see in the world.